Hey y'all, it's your girl Jay Slay and I am back with another video. Today I will be showing you how I made this wig. If you're new here, hey. If you are one of my subbies, hey girl, hey boo, hey boy.
And
Alright, now that I'm done playing, feature here is my Brazilian straight 24-inch bundle and 22-inch bundle. And here I have a Brazilian straight 20-inch bundle. And then right here is where I have my frontal, which I will be showing you guys how I bleach the knots. All right, first things first, you want to grab you some aluminum foil, which I have laid below, and I'm freeze framing this because I want you to see how that is a thick consistency, and that is BW2 from Clairol and also 30 Developer from Clairol mixed together, and it's a very thick consistency, and that's because you don't want that bleach to run through the lace and bleach the actual hair. So you want to just bleach the knots. And I'm using a plastic butter knife. Don't judge me, sis. It helps me not push that bleach through the lace, because if you use a regular application brush, it will push it through sometimes. So I'm taking the end of my rat tail comb here and just pushing up that hair on the lace frontal, because lace frontals are very smushed together to the lace when you get it. So you want to push it up to make sure that the hair, is not laying flat on the lace to where the bleach can get to it. And I know I just said a lot, sis, so I'm gonna freeze frame here. What you want to do is flip that lace over once you finish applying the bleach to the knots and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. What you saw me doing there was parting to see if it had gotten to my desired bleaching. So that's what I was doing, parting through the lace frontal. Once I saw that it was where I wanted to be, I went ahead and washed that out. So now that I have rinsed out the bleach from bleaching my knots, I am going to go ahead and pin that to the mannequin head backwards, just so I can go in with the True Match in the color bronze and tint my lace. I know that you guys see that color pop as soon as I start spraying. It matches my skin perfectly. They do have other colors. They don't just have bronze, and I'll do a review on True Match soon. So you want to go in and just dry that to speed up the process, because baby, anybody got all day. I am a working woman, okay? I work at 9 to 5. So we're gonna go in and dry it, and I just want you to see how well bleaching the knots and tinting the lace did. Look at that. So now I'm gonna take my frontal, and I like to leave my frontals damp and just let them air dry. To each his own. You want to lay that frontal on that dome cap. I'm using a black dome cap, and you want to lay it on there about where it's folding, probably about a half an inch over the actual start of the dome cap. That's because when you take this wig off of the mannequin head and you finish sewing it in, you want it to lay right when you lay it on your head to fit it and style it and wear it for everyday use. Do not pull your frontal backwards to fit the shape of the dome cap. Let it lay straight down like you see it laying now. Do not pull it back to sew it down. Now once you get it laid down, sis, go ahead and pin it down with some T-pins. That way it doesn't move when you begin sewing the back of the frontal. So you want to grab a spool of thread, and I recommend having about 3 and 4 needles already pre-threaded, and then you're just gonna thread from the middle to the left, and then you're gonna come back to the other side and sew from the middle to the right. Now I say do this because whenever you start from the one side, whether you start from the left or the right and go all the way to the other side, sometimes it can create bunching, and you don't want your frontal to bunch at all. You want it to be laying down flat. You want it to be sewn down flat. So this helps eliminate bunching. All right, now when you are watching me sew this, you'll see that I'll wrap the thread around the needle about 3 or 4 times before I go in and sew it in again. So that helps create like a little knot to make sure that it has a sturdy hold on the dome cap and the lace frontal, and it's not going anywhere, sis. Now I do that knotting method all the way down, but once I get to the end, I still knot it I go around with the thread around the end of the needle about 3 or 4 times, knotting it, and then I will cut the thread with my scissors, and I will still tie it about 3 to 4 times. I don't want this lace frontal to move, child. Now what I'm doing here is taking a white pencil and pre-drawing the lines where I want each track to lay. This helps guide you to make sure that you're not doing your tracks too close or not doing them too far. You do want to measure out maybe about 1 inch or so in between each one. And then once you start getting towards the middle, you don't want to go all the way across. You want to kind of start in the middle and then go down and then inch out just a little bit and then make your way back to the end once you get closer to the top where it reached that frontal, and draw the line all the way back down to the side. Now once I get closer to the top, I do start to stretch out my lines just a little bit to create just a little bit of a gap. Freeze frame. So that's what I'm talking about. You see how I didn't go all the way to the end on those 3 lines in the middle? So you want to only go a little bit past that line and go to the other side a little bit past that line and stop there with that line. Those 3 lines in the middle, make sure they don't go all the way to the end like you see here. Now what you see me doing here is sewing in my first track. Now, beginner or not, I honestly feel like pinning down the tracks, especially if you're double wefting like I am. I like to go ahead and pin them down so they don't move, especially while I'm doing a video, because don't nobody got time to hold a needle, hold the thread, hold a mannequin head, and hold these tracks. Get you some T-pins, okay? Get you some T-pins, hold those tracks down. That way you can really focus on sewing down those double wefts. Now I'm still gonna use the knotting method. I'm gonna sew in to the dome cap, come up through the dome cap, wrap around 3 or 4 times, pull it up, and that creates the knot. And I'm just gonna continue going on like this, okay? Moving forward. Now, when you are double wefting, you do not want to take that folding of the double weft all the way over when you're doing the flip over method, okay? I don't cut my tracks. Now, you see where I have that arrow there, right? So I have now left one track hanging, okay? And I've taken the other track, as you see me here, I'm taking that other track right here, and I took it all the way down and sewed it all the way down to the side. Now I'm going to pin that track I left behind in the beginning, and go ahead and pin it and pull it to the line that I have drawn out and pin it there, okay? Now I'm gonna take the second track that I took all the way to the end and start sewing it back to the left. All right, now I'm gonna take that back, secure it in, and it creates the flatness that you need. If you are double wefting, do not fold over both tracks at the end, okay? I know that's a lot, and I'm going to show you guys again later on in the video. So once you get close to that first track that you pinned down to the left, you're going to merge those 2 tracks back together and continue on double wefting. I know you're like, you saying a whole lot right now, and you confusing me. Freeze frame. All right, so you see where I pinned the top track? I'm now gonna take that bottom track now that I've made it back over to where I pinned the top track, and I'm gonna take the needle and sew the bottom track and the top track back together and continue double wefting to the left. And just an FYI, in case you're wondering, those indentation marks there on the hair is not bumpiness. That's just where the rubber band was tied around the bundles to hold the bundle together before I took them off to sew the tracks in. All right, so I'm doing a close-up here to show you the flip over method when you are double wefting. So I'm going to show you again. You're going to take that top track, pin it to your right this time, and you're going to have that bottom track. You've already sewn it all the way to the end, and you're going to go ahead and secure that bottom track, pin it, and then just go ahead and secure it to the end of the dome cap and continue sewing to the right until you go ahead and merge it with the bottom track that you flipped over. Freeze frame. This is where we merge those two tracks together, guys. Now you want to continue this method until you get all the way to the last two spaces before you get to the top. And I say that because you do not want to continue double wefting all the way till you reach the frontal or the closure, because you don't want it to be bumpy. You want it to be as flat as possible at the top. So I'm going to continue sewing this over and doing the flip over method once I get to the end until I get all the way to the top. I am going to stop doing the double wefts, and I will single weft the last two spaces that I have drawn until I get to the top like I've done here. And I'm going to go ahead and tie that ending knot there just to secure the track, even though I've knotted it. And we're gonna go ahead and flatten out this frontal, honey. All right, so now we're gonna take our IC Fantasia hair polisher, heat protector, straightening spray, and our Lotta Body with coconut shea oils, wrap me foaming mousse. And we're gonna use a hot comb from Golden Hot. It's electric, and I got that from Amazon, so I'll link it below. But the other two products I got from my local beauty supply store. And I'm just gonna put both of those on to the hair, and then take my electric straightening comb and straighten out that frontal. You want to do this to get rid of any bumpiness, just to take that bumpiness out of the frontal, and just straighten it out as if it's silk, honey. Now I prefer to part through the frontal and spray some of the straightening spray and heat protecting on there and straighten it out individually like that. And I have now made it to the top portion, so I'm just straightening that out at the root, because it's at the root where it's kind of bumpy at whenever you get your frontal, because you just don't want to have an install with it being all super bumpy. So what I'm showing you guys here is I have finished straightening out that frontal, child. And I know y'all like, didn't she change like 2 to 3 times? Listen, I told y'all I work, okay? So I got to do this on my spare time. So look how sleek that is now that I have straightened out that frontal. I was not playing, honey. Now that you have finished your wig, if you want, you can go in and put yourself some curls in. As you guys can see in the beginning of the video, I did curl the hair, but I ended up brushing it out because the next morning I had a different vibe that I was feeling, and I wanted a more loose pattern more than a curl. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the finished results and just take a look. Look at how that lace is matching that skin, child. All right, y'all, this is the finished product. I am done constructing this wig. I have plucked, I have bleached knots, I have curled, honey, I have brushed, I have comb, I have flat iron. I'm tired. So I'm done. I think it turned out really, really good. I did brush out those curls that you guys saw. I brushed them out a lot so I can get more of a loose wave type of vibe. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a video. This is your girl J Slay, and I'll be back with another video. Bye.